Excellent. There you are. Good evening, my lovelies, and a very warm welcome to Wednesday Night Live with me, Boaty, coming live into your eyes and ears. Excuse me. Direct from Windy Bottom here in the glorious Peak District National Park, where it's getting a bit chilly, isn't it? Not too bad during the day, but mornings and evenings getting a bit nippy. And I don't mind admitting that I have tweaked my heating up just a little bit. That bloody candle is still out of wonk, isn't it? I blame Cheeseburger. I blame General Cheeseburger for pretty much everything. I've tweaked the old heating up to 19 degrees because I work too hard to freeze my titties off every night. So, who have I got? Let's have a little look-see. Sophie, the lovely Sophie Richardson, who says, "Hi everyone, how are you all and how's your day been?" And also, Boaty, how are you? And how's your day been? And what have you been up to today? Well, it's very kind of you to ask, Sophie. I'm okay. I am okay, except that I went to work feeling absolutely fine and dandy, full of piss and vinegar, as our American friends say. And within an hour or so of being at work, I seem to have developed all of the very disturbing symptoms of, whisper it, man flu. In other words, the common cold. I've got a drippy nose. I've got a tickly cough. I was feeling a bit woozy, bit of a headache. I mean, it's nothing a glass of wine won't put right. Cheers, darlings. You're very good health. So I'm hoping that I'm speaking too loud again, aren't I? I keep forgetting that I've actually got a microphone here. And I was projecting then, and I don't need to project. I've got this little thing here that does the projecting for me. So I can modulate my tones and I can speak like this. And thanks to the wonders of technology, you should be able to hear me perfectly well, even though I'm speaking in hushed tones. But yeah, other than that, I'm absolutely fine. And hope you are too, Soph. Thanks for being here with us. And a bit of Welsh from the lovely Barry, that guy from SETI Alpha 5, who bids me a good evening. And also wishes a good evening to all of the non-Welsh speakers who are, no, I can't say that, can I? I was going to say something about Welsh speakers being less important, but of course they're not. They are, really. So, how are you, darlings? What should we talk about tonight? Obviously, I'm going to need you to name this live stream for me. You know that is your solemn and sworn duty. I would love to know what you've been eating today. Breakfast, dinner, tea, if you're working class, dinner or supper, if you are more of the middle class variety. Bring it on. Let me know what you've been shoving down your little red lanes to keep yourselves alive. And you should all be very privileged that I'm here with you tonight, because I hung up on a phone call from the one and only Bernard, who rang me at about 6 minutes to live stream time. And it went against the grain, but I said, I'm sorry. I have these people waiting for me. I have to go and witter at them live and come into their ears and down their eyes in the comfort of their own bungalow houses. So good evening to you anyway, Barry. Adam is here, pure evil, of course. Good evening to you, the one and only General Cheeseburger, without whom no live stream would be truly complete. And Cheeseburger says, doesn't look like this will take long. What are you complaining about now, Cheeseburger? I've arranged the flowers. I've lit the candles. What more do you want? Good God, man. Some people are never satisfied. Neil is here. Our tame AA superhero. And when I say AA, I do mean the Fourth Emergency Service. I don't mean that he's either a member of or in any way a representative of Alcoholics Anonymous. And thank God for that, he said. having another sip of his wine. Anyway, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't go to meetings. I'm just a drunk. Anyway, hope you're doing all right, Neil. Hope you are you back to work now? You were off, what was it, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So were you back today? Hope you had a good day anyway, mate. Pingu Concord is here and asks the question, why? And I don't know what he's talking about, so I can't answer it. Rover Joe is here. Joe! Rover Joe. Let's all embrace the lovely Joe in a virtual hug. Feel the warm hug, Joe. Feel the love from all of us. Steve Colg is with us. The lovely Joe Cox. Cars with JC, one of our community channels. Evening all. Sorry about last night. I joined and then fell asleep. Was absolutely knackered. Don't apologise, Joe. You're a very hard-working young man. Oh, and we have got some congratulations to hand out tonight, haven't we? First up, before I forget, I don't know if it's here or not, young Simon of the community channel Spanking Mackerel, Smashing Pistons, and he has hit a bit of a milestone. He's finally hit the old 300 subs. So many congratulations to him. And now I've spoken about this before. When it comes to YouTube channels, I decided to go down the Dan's Bangers route. And he espoused the notion that your aim within the first 12 months of starting your YouTube channel should be 50 subscribers, approximately one a week. So that was certainly my aim in my first 12 months. I was hoping to hit 50. And Simon has exceeded that by a factor of 6. So he should be jolly proud of himself, and I'm sure we are all very proud of him. And getting back to Joe, congratulations are in order again, because Joe has had an exceptionally successful job interview, and he will be launching a new career, as mentioned in the live stream when he was sitting right here, and young Simon was next to him. He's going to be starting a new career on the buses. He announced this on a Facebook post, and he asked kind of a rhetorical question. Guess who had an amazing job interview and is going to be starting a new career as a bus driver? And Simon answered, Blakey. And Joe had no idea what he was talking about. And I had to have a little giggle at the idea that Simon forgot that our friend Joe, who is a fetus, he's only about 12 or 24 or 22 or something. So the idea that he would be familiar with the characters from On the Buses of the 1970s amused me greatly. But many congratulations to Simon, and many congratulations to you, Joe, on your rather lucrative new career. Joe told me when we spent some time together just how much they earn down there on the buses. And my goodness gracious me. Our Joe will not be going short of his daily bread, but I'm sure he will earn it. Skick is with us. Good evening, boats, and a very good evening to you, Skick. Oh, and some of you will know, if you've watched today's 1919 video, which was the first part of mine and Mustard's acquisition adventure, where, as you know, on Monday we went down to the southeast coast to pick up a rather important, rather rare, and rather beautiful Rover 623 GSI. Anyway, part one of that acquisition adventure went up tonight in my 1919 slot. Mustard's video also went up on his own channel, and a slightly extended version on the Mustard and Boaty Do Cars channel, our joint channel. So do check those out as well as mine. But if you watch my video, you will notice that I finally got my act together and my arse in order, or my arse together and my act in order. I mean, you choose any way around you like. I'm easy. I don't mind. And I redid an outro, an up-to-date outro, where the lovely Inez shouts out all of you fabulous channel members to whom I'm so incredibly grateful. And I'm also incredibly grateful to those of you who've been kind enough to gift channel memberships. So that's Ali Mack, Mike, Classic Wheels Wales, Joe, of course, very generously gifted no fewer than 5. And yeah, you finally got your due recognition, because I have, well, Inez and I have recorded a new outro, which will feature on the videos on an ongoing basis. So cheers to you all. Somebody has just done a nice thing. I've got a, oh God, Neil, you absolute legend. Neil has just gifted 5 memberships. Who's going to get those? Let's have a look. Oh, well, appropriately, Sophie's got one. Brilliant. Jimmy Quinn. Jimmy, I wasn't even sure if you were still watching these. I've not heard from you for ages. I'm so glad to see you, and I hope that you're really, really well. You have been missed. We've noticed that you've not been around, or at least not been commenting if you have been watching the live streams or the videos. So Sophie's got a gifted one. Jimmy's got a gifted one. That's brilliant. Oh, Kevin Hughes. Oh, and Bad Books and GPS OMG. Oh, that's fun. Neil, thank you so much. That's incredibly kind and generous of you. Thank you very much indeed. And congratulations to the 5 who... Oh, sodding hell, Neil. Right. I don't want to sound ungrateful. I really don't. But I spent a couple of hours today doing a new bang-up-to-date bloody outro. And now it's not up to date, is it? There's going to be 5 people missing. And you bloody well knew that as well, didn't you? But I'm really grateful, and so are the people that are the recipients of your kindness. I'm just going to have to spend another hour doing another bugger tomorrow now, aren't I? Oh, I'm not doing it. I'll do a new one once a week. I'm not doing it every day. God almighty, I've barely got time to wipe my bottom as it is. But oh, thank you very much. Oh, and Simon is here. Simon is here. That's good. That's good. And I hope Simon was watching the little bit earlier when I congratulated him on his subscriber milestone. Now then, let me whiz back to the previous comments so I'm not missing anybody out. I just wanted to whiz forward because Neil had done a rather lovely thing. Right, where did I get to? Diddly-do. Oh, that's about where I got to, wasn't it? Jolly good. Oh, yeah, I was saying good evening to Skick. Hi, Skick. Hope you're well, mate. Pingu says, has the neighbour approved your new quieter spec lives? I haven't spoken to him, Pingu, to be honest. Oh, God. I got past my thing of being considerate and whatnot. And then I just kind of got into, oh, well, fuck him. You know, actually, it was Mike and a couple of the others of you that said, you know, the loud music thing I can get, but I'm not going to make sure that he's still okay with this. At the end of the day, I'm talking to my friends in my own home. So I'm not going to go down the route of worrying about that or apologizing for it. I've made it as quiet as I can. I'm using an external microphone. I'm moderating my tones. As far as I'm concerned, this is no different from having a chat with friends or a partner or anybody else or chatting on the phone in my own home. Sod him. I'm sure he'll be okay with it. I'm sure he would have said something if he wasn't. But yeah, we'll just bang on, darlings. That's what we'll do. We will just bang on. Oh, that's nice. Cheeseburgers. Oh, some food news from Cheeseburger. Only one meal today, spaghetti bolognese. Now then, spaghetti bolognese, Cheeseburger. Are you, well, I don't know why I'm asking you. I don't suppose you made it, and I don't suppose you served it. That will be your long-suffering wife, aka full-time carer, I imagine. But Cheeseburger, is your wife in favour of serving the spaghetti in a heap and then the bolognese going on top? Or is your wife one of those who mixes it all together in the pan and then using whatever utensil comes to hand, drops it into the, well, not onto the plate. You don't have spag bol on a plate, do you? You have it in a pasta bowl, or at least I would hope you do anyway. And that's a question to everybody. When it comes to spag bol, which I'm sure we all know and love, do you have it? I'm sure we've done this before, actually. I mean, I've been doing these bloody live streams for a year now, haven't I? We're probably getting towards a stage where I'm just starting to repeat all of the topics on a cycle. So, but there'll be some new people they can answer. So, feature number 17C, spag bol, mixed all together and served, or spaghetti served and then bolognese on top. And don't start talking about cheese. I know that some of you weirdos will sprinkle parmesan on the top of your spaghetti bolognese. Don't talk to me about that. My live streams are a cheese-free zone. I don't believe in cheese. I think that cheesing is immoral and wrong. I won't go into all of the reasons because we've done them 1,000 times before. But yeah, talk to me about your spag bol. Don't talk to me about putting bloody cheese on it. Are you engaged yet, says Pingu? Well, no, not unfortunately not. God knows it's not for the want of me proposing, is it? There is a slight chance that Bernard might be watching this. I mean, I very much doubt it. I said, shall I send you a link? Because she said she's too much of a technophobe to figure out how to get onto a YouTube live stream or whatnot. So I said, shall I send you a link? She said, oh, yeah, go on then. I might have a look, see what it's like. So she might be watching, probably isn't. But no, there is no engagement as yet, sadly, much as I would like there to be. Skick says, I got some of that Alpen today. Really enjoyed it with warm milk. Do they still do Alpen? That was my father's favourite cereal. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's something that you would put in a cat litter tray or at the bottom of your hamster cage. But, some people enjoy it, and I'm sure it's jolly good and healthy, except that you have to have milk with it. And no grown-up should ever eat milk. Well, we won't go into that. You know my thoughts on milk, darlings. So Simon says, evening, folks. Can't sleep, so figured listening to Boaty would help. Yeah, totally. That is my purpose. Skit keeps telling me that I'm that all of my videos are AMG, which apparently is a really good thing. Don't really understand it, to be honest with you. Not AMG, ASR, AMSR. AMR? Oh, I don't bloody know. But yeah, I'll lull you. Would you like me to sing to you, Simon? Go to sleep, my baby, my baby, my baby. There you go. That should do the trick. Joe says, oh, right, that's talking to Neil. You don't all need to know that. Cheeseburger says, if Bernard had been sat at your table, the live stream would have been 10 minutes late. Well, thank you, Cheeseburger. I take that as flattery. Probably more like 30 seconds. Neil says, I've ordered a new pinch bolt for your lower arm, and I've ordered some new welding wire for my welder. Oh, Neil, you absolute legend. Oh, you are a superstar, sir. And Joe got under the car today, or a car today, and drowned, his car, presumably, and drowned all exhaust bolts and hangers in WD-40, ready for the poor mechanic to fit a new one when it arrives. Mike is here. My friend, our friend Mike. Classic Wheels Wales, one of the... If you ever get the chance to meet Mike in person, take it, because Mike is one of the funniest people that I have ever encountered. I mean, you've got to have a thick skin, because his undoubted wit is a bit on the caustic side, but my God, is the man funny. And he's a total shit stirrer, which is funnier still. Anyway, Mike says, evening, Jason, you massive totter and good evening, humans. That's how's things, Mike? How's that Streetwise doing? Tell me all about the Streetwise. Mustard wants it. He wants to turn it into a pickup. Right, Neil's taking the piss out of Joe and says rust protecting an exhaust after it's corroded may not help. Sorry for being the bearer of glad tidings. And Cheeseburger says, was it a Boaty Bod's job before? There have been a few of these comments. Simon made one as well. I saw it, Simon. Let me be clear. Michael Jackson, Joe's new car, came from Mustard and Sons Quality Motors, not Mustard and Boaty do cars. That car is nothing to do with me. So if there are any issues with it, don't throw them in my direction. Oh, Ben's here. Evening one, evening all, evening to you. Oh, and Ben says, 300 deliciously smothered parsnips. Get in. And that's congratulating Simon on his subscriber milestone. All right, you butler, says Cheeseburger. Again, Joe's not going to get that reference, right? Joe is a fetus. I guarantee you he's never seen a minute of a single episode of On the Buses. Oh my God, it looks like a full moon. Oh dear. Oh, 301 at the last count, says Simon. Go me, go you indeed. I mean, the first 300 are the hardest, aren't they? They'll start flying in now. I reckon you'll hit 500 within 6 weeks. I'll go forward in 6 weeks. And then under the new YouTube, whatever it is, you can get your merch and you can get your channel memberships and you can get your fan funding and all of that stuff. And Adam says, congratulations, Simon. Cheeseburger asks, do they still send bus drivers on a how to be an arse course? Ah, there's Cheeseburger winning friends and influencing people again. Oh dear. Ben says Joe's Cornish coach cruises 55 mile round trips. That is a reference, of course, to poor old Joe and when he was live streaming here from this very table with me, and I was teasing him a little bit. Talking of welding, Rover Joe says, oh, Boaty, my welder came today. Turns out I need a 16 amp plug though. Oh, right. Oh, hey, Rob Streetwise. Who's Rob Streetwise? Oh, look, don't confuse me. It's Wednesday. I'm tired. It's 11:30 at night. Who the hell is Rob Streetwise? Is that the same as Rob Hedgehog? Has Rob Hedgehog renamed himself? Sophie asked, what do you have to do as first time had one of theirs? What are you talking about, Sophie? You're talking about the channel membership. If you're talking about channel membership, you don't have to do anything. You've got it now. It just means that you can see videos that other people can't see. You've got access to emojis and things that other people haven't got. And I'll promise you cake and basically not give it to you. Greetings, Ken. Oh, so Rob Streetwise. Is Rob Streetwise Rob Hedgehog? Is he that Rob? God, don't confuse me anymore. Jimmy Quinn was donated a membership, says Joe, but I haven't seen him in ages. Is he okay? I don't know, but I really hope so. Somebody else has done a nice thing. Who's that? Oh, Monkey Mouse Cat. Monkey Mouse Cat to you. Thank you, Mike. Mike has sent me a super chat, bless him. And that's incredibly 33 people watching. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad for an old fart chatting nonsense at 11 o'clock at night. Gosh, nearly 11:30 now. I love these. It's so nice having this time with you. I'm probably way behind on comments again, aren't I? Oh, and it's low tide at Wine Bay, darlings. Replenishments will be needed very. If you heard that, I can only apologise. That, well, let's be frank, that belch came out of absolutely nowhere. Came up from my shoes, that one. Dear me. Apologies. Right, let's crack on. Soup Sorcerer. And that's easy for you to say. And that's a name that's new to me. Can you explain what would be your ideal soup recipe, please? Yeah, I can do that with absolute pleasure. My ideal soup recipe would be a chicken and noodle hot and sour soup. So you're talking noodles, you're talking chicken, you're talking chu chow chili, light and dark soy sauce, little bit of white vinegar, possibly some bit of really hot chili powder. What the bloody hell is that? That's a bit. Oh, bloody hell, Skick. Thank you so much. Oh, a super sticker from Skick. That's incredibly generous. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, bless you. Oh, that's really kind. Thank you very much. Where did I get to? Oh, I was doing soup, wasn't I? Yeah, some and some other spices thrown in. You can throw some beaten and fried egg in if you can throw some beaten egg in if you wish. I prefer not to. Bit of white pepper and a really good stock. Yeah, that would do me. Or failing that, a really nice beef consomme is always good. Or gosh, lots of soups actually, but definitely an Asian soup, and definitely of the spicy variety. Oh yeah, you Blakey, says Barry. Again, people that are not of our generation, they're not going to have a clue what we're talking about. Good evening, all, says Bad Books, and hello, everyone, says James Wilson. And good evening to you both. Thank you for joining us. James says the temperature inside this apple turnover is over 1,000 degrees. If I squeeze it, a jet of molten Bramley apple will squirt out. Could go your way, could go mine. Either way, one of us is going down. Oh dear. Ben says, I've seen Jimmy, that's our friend Jimmy Quinn, commenting on other channels, Furious Maths, Chops, etc. Maybe Neil's kind gift will bring him back to run his shitometer over Boaty's offerings. Well, he must have been here, I presume. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got the gifted membership. So, I mean, it would be lovely to have him back and commenting. I miss him. Oh, vegetarian with a question mark. And that's from, well, that's for, okay. Vegetarian with a question mark. That's, what is that in reference to? I wonder. Is that because I'm all behind on the comments. I'm always behind on the comments. You know this. It takes me about an hour and a half to catch up normally. So I'm not sure what the vegetarian. The vegetarian with a question mark, I'm not sure what that is in reference to, but you know perfectly well that I am not vegetarian. And unless you've significantly changed your ways, you're not vegetarian either. Dinosaur Dad is with us, the lovely Ross. Hey all. And Ross, of course, is one of our Antipodean friends, joining us all the way from the continent of Australasia, the land down under, where women blow and men chunder, or something like that. Can't you hear the thunder? You'd better run, you'd better take cover. More on that story later. Cheeseburger says, my wife went to catering college and spent many years as a chef. We do have pasta bowls. We're not peasants, but on top of the pasta. Good. Okay, jolly good. Right, my alleged son Humphrey is here and says, hello, Daddy. Hello, son. Hope you're doing well. Don't know who it is. Not a clue. Adam says, what about having the sauce below the spaghetti? I've got no idea. Stephen S. Paul is in our very midst. And of course, Stephen S. Paul is one of our American chums and is joining us from the United States of Confusion and says, good evening. Easy for you to say. Tricky chaps' words, aren't they? Good evening, England. I am in you, virtually. Well, we're all glad that you're virtually in us. Stephen, how are you, mate? How are you doing? You can now eat meat. Can you, Carrie? I didn't know there was a time where you couldn't eat meat. Is that something I've missed out on? Black Line says spag bowl. You mean hot dogs and spaghetti hoops? Oh, God above. Joe says there's a lot of new stroke undercover accounts tonight. Aha, Detective Joe is on the case. Hello to you all. Well, I know who one of them is. I can't speak for the rest. It's ASMR, says Rover Joe. Thank you, Rover Joe. What? What, James? I can't read that out. Great singing. Thank you very much. Singing? I thought the cat wanted in, says Black Lines. Who's Bernard? Asked James. Bernard Cribbins? Wilfred Mott from Doctor Who? Bernard? Who the hell is Bernard? Yeah, that was the song, wasn't it? Living next door to Bernard. Okay. Well, it's not often, darlings, that you will see me lost for words, or you've all known me for a while now, and you know that I'm never lost for words. So I'll let you into a secret. Unless somebody's playing a very elaborate practical joke on me, Bernard is in the building, so I'd better be careful what I say. And I'm 59 million miles behind on the comments. Ben says, Sophie, I don't know how to say this gently, but channel membership involves watching Jeremy Farage's daily diaries. Jeremy Farage. For those who don't know, I'm often accused of looking like Nigel Farage, and I'm similarly accused of either looking like or acting like or being as much of an arse as Jeremy Clarkson. And the lovely Ben has decided that I'm now a kind of conduit or a fusion of the two. That's actually quite amusing, Jeremy Farage. I like that. Bad Book says, singing reminds me of Michael Crawford, which would be a compliment. He's got a beautiful singing voice. Either that or Frank Spencer. You had to spoil it, didn't you, Bad Books? You rotten swine. Joe would highly recommend Mustard and Sons Motors. Oh, dear. What? Joe, the 22-year-old fetus, says, I have watched many episodes of On the Buses, just not for a very long time. I also really love Open All Hours and Last of the Summer Wine, or whatever it was called. Well, Mustard and I are determined that with somebody else, we're going to recreate Last of the Summer Wine. For those who don't know, Last of the Summer Wine was filmed in Home Firth, which is not a million miles from the Yard of Dreams. And indeed, I have driven. I once did a diversion through Home Firth on my Monday visit to the Yard of Dreams for filming day. And we're going to go there one day and we're going to recreate Last of the Summer Wine, but we're going to do it in full mustard and Boaty style. But you can bet it's going to involve one or the other of us sliding down a bloody big grassy hill in a tin bath, wearing a dodgy cap. I loved Last of the Summer Wine. I kind of grew away from it because it went on for about 93 years, didn't it? But I loved the original series with, with Compo and what was it? Clegg, Foggy. I didn't watch so many of the later ones when Russ Abbott and everybody was getting in on the act. But I absolutely loved the gentle comedy of the original series. And I just love the idea, especially that now I'm getting older myself. I love the idea of people just growing old disgracefully. My grandfather had a period like that. Sadly, my father never did. And how I wish he had. But my grandfather had a period after my grandmother had passed away where he got in like a lads club at the local chapel at Bethania Chapel in Glynneath. And they were all widowers, and they kind of, it was so lovely to see. They would meet up, and you know, at this point they were all in their 80s or 90s. They're all widowers, and they were just like a proper gang of boys, and they'd be eyeing up the ladies, and you know, there'd be bant. I hate the word bants and I hate the word banter, but they would have a whale of a time. And I used to love being there and being around it when I was visiting and spending time with my grandfather, who, as many of you know, was my absolute hero. And I love anything like that where people who are slightly more mature and one might think, or society might think, should be behaving in a genteel and refined way, just sort of say, bugger that, and have a bit of a laugh. I mean, that's what Mustard and I do. I mean, you know us, you shared everything with us. Many of you have met us in person and spent time with us in person. And those of you who haven't have seen our antics on the videos. And that's what we're doing. We're two middle-aged guys just having a really, really good laugh. And I think that's bloody brilliant. I really do. And for that reason, I loved Last of the Summer Wine. And I loved Open All Hours as well. In fact, now, obviously I got in trouble with my neighbour for recording outside late at night. Now, the reason I did that, you remember on the Daily Diaries, I would go outside out of the front door there, pan the camera around, show you the quietness or some traffic going by, and have a quiet little word at the end of the day. That was an Open All Hours homage. That was my favourite bit of Open All Hours, when Arkwright, at the end of the day, at the end of each episode, it would be Arkwright standing outside in the dark, the light on the shop, hands in the pocket of his brown shop coat, and he would just reminisce over the day. And I loved that. And that was what the end to my diaries were supposed to be. That's why I went outside. And sadly, I can't do it anymore. I wish that I could. Where did I get to? Good evening, says Penelope Shitstop. I'm not Penelope Shitstop. I'm not feeling too clever. I have an infection in a saliva gland in my jaw. Oh dear, that doesn't sound. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that too. Black Lines is also. Why was the Chinese lady angry with you? Says Skick. Not entirely sure what you're referring to there, Skick. Which Chinese lady are we talking about? Give me a clue. If you're talking about Chinese madam, then she was angry with me because we were in a relationship, living together. She wanted to get married, and I dumped her and kicked her out. And that was why she was angry with me. If you're referring to something else, you'll need to give me a clue. Oh, Rob Hedgehog is here and says, no, it's not me. So I've got no idea who Rob Streetwise is. Cheeseburger says, channel membership. It's a bit like having a tag when you're released on probation. Oh, dear, 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 dear. Oh, right. Oh, okay. My alter ego has escaped by say Simone. So Simone is Penelope Shitstop your alternate account? If it is, then I'm sorry that you're going through it with your infection, or as Black Lines put it, your sore gob. Oh, and Simone, who of course runs the channel Hooked on Classics, a very excellent channel, and one of mine or our community channels that I hope you're all supporting. Very, very good. You won't regret it. And Simone is a brilliant YouTube presenter, according to Skick, the best. And Simone says, I am shit stop. I thought I'd have a giggle. Fair enough. But no, Cheeseburger. No, not having that. Not having that. Don't forget, it's your solemn and sworn duty to give a name to this live stream. Make it relatively short. Make it pithy. Make it funny. Don't make it too dirty. You'll get me demonetized again. Right, hang on. Where did I get to? Diddly-do, diddly-do, diddly-do. Now, Pingu. I'm glad you said this. Boaty's stations are requested for the upcoming autumn season of Boaty's World, please. It's amazing that you say that, Pingu. I often think that we're somehow telepathically connected, because I was planning one literally this evening while I was at work and on the drive home. And I was planning exactly that. As soon as we get into the autumn, that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I've got very specific plans. So, for example, the first thing I was thinking of doing, now, you know I've done a video episode on Cromford Station, but I'm going to do the whole Derwent Valley line. And I'm going to do it. It'll be a series of videos. And each video will be one station to the next. So the first will be Matlock to Matlock Bath, and then there'll be Matlock Bath to Cromford, and then Cromford to Watstanwell, Watstanwell to Ambigate, etc., etc., etc. And I will do the same on the Hope Valley line, where I did take you, didn't I? On one Monday video. I can't remember if it was a daily diary or a filming day at the yard type video, but I did take it to one of the stations, I remember. But there is definitely going to be Boaty stations, and they may well be combined with Land Rover lunches, or they may even feature my new food flask, which is just revolutionizing road trips and lunches full stop. But yeah, I'm really keen to do that, Finger. And in the fullness of time, if and when I start to get more time, I will expand that around the UK. I would love to do the Cambrian line on the Never Eat Shredded Wheat, on the west coast of Wales, for example. That's one that springs immediately to mind. And I would like to do some heritage railway lines as well. I mean, what we should really do would be the Vale of Rydal, because that's the one that goes right by Hubnut's Mrs.'s house, or if she's still there, and what used to be Hubnut's house, of course. So, yeah, we could We could go past on a heritage train and abuse him roundly. Oh dear, where did I get to? Penelope is a darling of the channel. I would thoroughly agree with that. Have I missed the filling of the salt and pepper grinders? I don't watch the news, you see. Well, yeah, you have, Simon, but you're not alone. Obviously, some of you will know that after I was bullied by you lot into getting rid of my somewhat pants, oversized salt and pepper grinders, I splashed out and bought these rather splendid fellows. But you saw these a live unboxing, and that was on the night that Simon and Joe were here, co-hosting the live stream with me. And yeah, I have now actually filled them up. But everybody missed out on that because I big fat didn't film it. But there you are. They are correctly filled up and ready for deployment. Does anybody want to donate to the MJ Fund? He's in need of a few bits, pretty please. You're not going to need it. You're going to be rich very soon, Joe, with all of your bus driving warranty claims, says Black Lines. Donate and save a 25 from the crusher. God almighty, but I'll... Somebody send Joe an exhaust. Exactly, Neil. I'm not reading it out, but DCI, what's that mean? I'm intrigued. DCI is Detective Chief Inspector. I put up a Rover 25 clock onto eBay, says Joe, and it's had a load of views so far and a few watches. Good. Hope you get a good price for it. Cheeseburger says, hubby, your video tonight. Oh, right. Hubby is here. And Cheeseburger has told him that tonight's video was crap. What was Hubnut's video tonight? I haven't seen it. Poor old Ian. He does get some stick on these live streams, doesn't he? Not that it would bother him in the least. I mean, our Ian, who is probably a lovely chap, is sitting pretty with, what's he got now? 110,000 subscribers, something like that, and a jolly healthy income, and a charming family, and a folding mobile shithouse. So I'm sure he's not too worried about what we say about it. Simon says, Boaty, you missed the Home First car show that Norman and Ernest attended. I've missed a lot of car shows. I might have actually gone to one in Home First, to be fair. I genuinely didn't know about it. James says, you know the best TV show with Sir David in it, besides OFAH, whatever that is? I'll give you a hint. Denton and avoid the mullet. I've got no... Oh, I'm so sorry. I've got no idea what you're talking about, James, I'm afraid. I do apologise. Ross says, Nora Batty's wrinkled stockings. Yeah. Yep, they'd do it for me. Video title, Jeremy Farage, says Mike. Actually, I'll screenshot that because that should be somewhere in it. Video title from Cheeseburger, Last of the Frozen Wine. Oh, I'd better check that. Thank you for the reminder. Have a look. No, my wine remains as yet unfrozen, but oh, it's getting there. It's just on the verge. So we need to keep an eye on that, don't we, darlings? Where were we? Oh, yeah, Nora Batty. Oh, Jeremy Farage. That did amuse me. Skick says, Boaty, would you consider doing a story of your life, the ups and downs, etc., maybe in a dark, quiet setting? Yeah, I absolutely would, Skick. Absolutely would. I've done bits. If you look through my back catalogue of videos, and what did I call the videos where I was talking about my mum and my dad and my early life? But yeah, I would love to. I think, Skip, to be honest, I think I'm kind of doing it in a backwards, half-assed type of way. There are bits of my life and the ups and downs scattered throughout my videos. And yeah, but one day I would love to bring them all together and do a sort of autobiographical series. But you get to hear a lot of it. If you're regular viewers to the live streams and to all of the other videos on the channel, you do get a lot of insights into my life and a lot of the stories, because I'm very open with you guys. I don't hold anything back. And even when we're having fun, like on Monday's epic road trip, 14-hour day for poor old Mustard, and lots of driving for both of us. There were bits in there about history, but if you've not watched the video, I can't remember what I called them. Oh, I think there's a video called A Potted History of Boaty, or a couple of videos of that title. Skick and anybody else, if you've not seen those, do give them a watch, because those were just me sitting outside on a relatively warm summer's evening, literally just telling a small part of the story of my life. I would love to talk more about I'd love to talk more about my singing days. I've spoken about my athletic days, and most of you don't like it. You get bored by all of the cycling stuff, but I have talked about that quite a bit. I would love to talk to you more about my singing days, how that all came about, how 1 minute I was just buggering about in amateur competitions, and the next minute I'm headlining shows, and then I'm singing around Europe, and then I'm in America. So I'd love to do all of that stuff with you one day. I'd love to really talk about the business days, the car business, the Grand Central Promotions, Ghost and Nightingales, agency services, all of that. And yeah, I'm happy to share all of the, well, you know that I'm happy to, I tell it as it is. I share all of the bad stuff. I don't have any secrets from you guys, do I? Whatever, when it comes to you lot, my inner scrotum, inner sanctum, especially on the live streams, then there's no filter in place. Whatever comes to my mind, or whatever is triggered by your comments, I just throw it out there. So you probably know a lot more about me than you realize, because I chuck it all out there, don't I? Video title: Last of the Frozen Wine. Yeah. I loved it too. Sunday Night Comfort. Which one was? Well, that could be either Last of the Summer Wine or Open All Hours, but Last of the Summer Wine was just magical, absolutely magical. It was, it was lovely, feel good, gentle comedy. But as I say, I just love the idea of slightly older people having a bit of fun, Growing old is unavoidable, unless you have the misfortune to fall off the twig. Growing up is optional. And that's the way I look at it. Sometimes you have to be a grown up, of course you do, but on the whole, I tried being a grown up, didn't fit me. So I'm happy being what you see now. I have my moments when I'm a grown-up. Most of the time, I'm an overgrown child. And I'm very happy and comfortable with that. Oh, and Cheeseburger points out to Skick that I have told the story of my life across many videos. So, yeah. No, it wouldn't, Mike. Shut up. Ben says, fond memories of watching Foggy, Cleggy and Compo as a family. Cleggy was my favourite. I never met him, but I feel Peter Sallis was a fabulous gent. I'd agree. Simon says, your favourite bit of Open All Hours, was it finishing? ? Lol, which means lots of love. And lots of love to you as well, Simon. Thank you. You can do it. Tripod, film yourself stood at the door, then voiceover. Oh, that's a good point, actually. That's a good point, actually, Simon. Yeah, I could, couldn't I? Because, of course, it was done as a voiceover. Yes, in Open All Hours, it was done as a voiceover. On film, he wasn't speaking it. He was just standing there looking pensive, and it was a voiceover. You're absolutely right. So I could do that, and I probably will. Video live stream title from Stephen S. Paul, Last of the Summer Boaty. I've used that before. Steve. I was talking about when the time that I went to the Yard of Dreams on a Monday via a somewhat circuitous route and went through Home Firth and then ended up looping around the M62. It was a fabulous drive over the, Simon, what are they called? The Steins? It was a really good drive. I only ever did it that once. I should do it again. But I made a video of that journey and I actually called it Last of the Summer Boaty. So it's a great title, Steve, but I have already used it. I mean, it doesn't stop me doing it again. I repeat most things, don't I? Diddly-doo, 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 diddly-doo. Oh, hello. Here's another new name. The Maestro, Montego and Metro Appreciation Club says hello. Well, hello to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really grateful. Last of the Summer Boaty is brilliant, says Ben. Well, thank you, but like I said, I've done it. That if you check back, it would be about 10 months ago, 9 or 10 months ago. And I know I've got a lot of videos out there. I've been a busy boy over this year, haven't I? At the last count, 737 videos out there. I noticed that this morning. 737, which is kind of a memorable number to me because I've flown a 737, as in actually hand flown it, not sitting in the back bit. I was sitting in the driver's seat, actually flying the thing more than once, very illegally. I've spoken about that before. So there are a lot of videos for you to troll through, admittedly. But if you do a YouTube search for Last of the Summer Boaty, then you will find a video that I did make and does have that title. And it was a lovely journey. I can't remember which car I was driving. Oh, God. Oh, and I have got car news, darlings. I have got car news. There seems to be a lot of car news these days. I've got, well, there's no update on Windsor Davis, particularly. It looks like I've got Windsor Davis until Monday, I think, when he will be going to Mustard and the Yard of Dreams, where he will be, well, he'll kind of be prepared for sale, but to be honest, I think Mustard wants to enjoy him for a little while first and get some good footage from him. Excuse me. He really is an absolutely fabulous car. But I've got other news as well, and it won't surprise you that that Barney the Streetwise is almost certainly going to end up at Windy Bum sooner rather than later, probably on Monday. I will probably be subject to change and whatnot, but I'm probably going to be taking Windsor Davies up to the Yard of Dreams on Monday and coming back in Barney, and then there's going to be and then I'll be setting to work because there will be some bits that I would like to do to Barney, but there's other stuff going on as well. But we can get into all of that in a bit. Let's keep up with the comments. Where do I get to? Have a pleasant night, all, says Simon. Even this monotonous drivel isn't sending me to sleep. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm not sufficiently monotonous or driveling for you. But good night, mate. Have a good night. The tramway at Crouch would be interesting, says Bernard, and it would indeed. Now, oddly enough, Bernard, I was talking about this in a video that I made. When would it have been? Within the last week, where I drove past the Crouch Tramway Museum, and I alluded to the fact that I had never been there, despite the fact that I lived in Matlock Bath for 3 years, where it's almost literally right on my doorstep, and despite the fact that I've lived here at Windy Bottom for 8 years, and it is pretty much right on my doorstep. And I love trams, and yet I've never been. So yeah, that is a good shout. That is a good shout. I must do that one of these days. Do you want to come with me? Train journeys. He could be Portillo. I haven't got the amusingly coloured trousers cheeseburger, but I would love to do something along those lines. The extremely dull musings of an unfunny tall man, which is a somewhat unkind but nonetheless amusing name, says bedtime, early start tomorrow, so have a good night. The first ever trams are imported, and you've lost me on the last word, I fear. Oh, and the Maestro Montego and Metro Appreciation Club has picked up a few subscribers by appearing here in this here live stream, so I'm delighted about that. Don't forget, says Simone, to assault the like button. And yeah, if you would like to hit the like button, I would be very grateful. It does help. Video title from Cheeseburger, sizes and everything. And the M&M Appreciation Club says, hi, I'm looking at buying my first R8. I would like a 416 GTI if possible. What do you think of the GTI spec? I'm sure you'll get plenty of responses to that. Simone and Joe are talking about welding. Here's an interesting one. Blackline says, when you stopped cycling, was it a shock to the system? When you weren't exercising / eating for peak performance? I've always wondered how athletes cope psychologically when they stop their sport. That is a brilliant question, Blacklines. And I have mentioned it in passing beforehand, but what was the exact question? Was it a shock to the system? It was more than a shock to the system. It was such a fundamental assault on my system that it genuinely and literally took me 15 years to recover from and learn to cope with. And that is the absolute truth. That's genuine. It's late. I'm supposed to have finished by now, but I would love to talk about this some more. If you've ever been a top level athlete, or the problem is that it obviously is a lifestyle that literally dominates and takes over your life. It is your raison d'etre. It's your reason for being. It's on your mind every second of every day. That's one thing. And that becomes like Stockholm syndrome. You become reliant on that routine. But also there are the rewards. Quite apart from the the ego reward when you win, when you're successful, when you do this, that, and the other. There is there's a physiological process in the brain. Now, hurting yourself through exercise releases endorphins, and the endorphins that are released through extreme exercise are related to the endorphins that are released through sex and through chocolate, but they're like 1,000,000 times greater. There is no high on earth that comes near to those endorphins. Trust me. There is no drug that you can take that will replicate them. There is nothing that you can do. So when you stop your sport, life becomes virtually impossible. You lose all of your structure, you lose your reason for being alive, and you lose your reward system. You lose those endorphins. So many athletes, especially in the more extreme sports, and I do include cycling in that, they have incredible problems when they retire. Now, the average life expectancy of a racing cyclist is 53 years. So on that basis, I've got 1 year left. That is the average life expectancy. And the predominant reason for that is suicide. Suicide and deaths related to alcohol and drugs, because a horrendously large percentage of ex-cyclists and ex-other sportsmen, boxing in particular, boxing really does spring to mind. They will be in turmoil with the lack of structure, and they will be looking for something to replicate the high, the natural high. And all too often, sadly, they turn to alcohol and they turn to drugs, and that doesn't often end well. I would guess that something like 40% of my contemporaries that I grew up with or raced with are dead. And many of them is through suicide or drug and alcohol related issues. So that's a brilliant question, Blackline. It affected me incredibly. In one way, I was unlucky in that my career ended early through injury. But that was also a blessing in disguise, because I was probably still young enough to adapt. But mentally, it certainly took me 15 years to get back on anything like an even keel after it. I mean, what actually happened was that I rebelled. I've spoken to you about what I was like in my 20s. And, you know, it was a lot of fun. But a lot of it was a rebellion against the fact that I had no childhood, I had no adolescence, I had no teenage years, because I trained, and that's all that I did. So I didn't do any of the things that you guys probably did when you were younger. So when that was taken away from me, then the routine was replaced with work. I've told you before that from the age of 21 to the age of 30, no, sorry, that's a lie. From the age of 22 to the age of 30, I worked 14 hours a day, 365 days a year. I didn't have a day off for 9 years. So that was me replicating my training schedule with a work schedule, which paid off for me in terms of business, but probably wasn't healthy. But what I also did was I rebelled. Obviously, I'd never drank, I'd never smoked, I'd never womanized. I was a virgin, for Christ's sake. When I finished my cycling career, I was still a virgin, because women weaken legs. That's what we were told. If you were away, if you were racing and you were married, you were separated from your wife. Your wife wasn't even allowed to visit you. Women weaken legs. So as soon as my career finished, and of course I was so bitter and resentful, I totally rebelled. So I went over the top with all of those things. I smoked, I drank, I drank, I womanized, and I worked my ass off. And things didn't really settle down. And I did it frenziedly, the same way that I raced and the same way that I trained. I did it frenziedly and I did it obsessively. And that didn't really settle down until I hit my early to mid 30s. And there's more, but it's not the right time of night to bang on about all of that. But brilliant question, Black Lines. Soph says, when I come to see you, Boaty, do you like rosé wine? As I would love to share the bottle. No, not for me. So you have a bottle of rosé. I'll have a bottle of good old-fashioned dry white plonk, and we'll get merry together. Where did I get to? Yes, says Russ. Pretty sure the video was called A Potted History. They were very emotional and entertaining. Oh, thank you. They were certainly emotional. It was a while ago that I did those videos, but I do remember them. And I do remember how cathartic it was to talk about things that I've talked about, because as those of you who watch those videos and some others will know, I've got a lot of trauma in my past, and I had a very traumatic childhood. And I've never had counseling or therapy or anything of that nature. I've dealt with it, perhaps imperfectly, but I've dealt with it all myself. And I do remember making those videos, and I remember how cathartic it felt just to talk about it, just to share that. It was an amazing experience. So yeah, thank you very much indeed for thanks for that, mate. Yeah. And I've lost where I was now. Oh, that was Russ. Yeah, thank you, Russ. And you know, I'm glad you found them emotional and entertaining. I think that was my worry, that they might not be entertaining if they were too emotional. But you know, hopefully we hit a bit of a balance, because that's how I deal with it all. You have to deal with it with humor and a word beginning with P, that pragmatism. That's the chap. That's the word. Drat, says Ben, about the title being used before. Last of the Windy Boaty. It won't be the last of the Windy Boaty. You can bet that. Last of the Windy Bum. Video title. Oh, right. Mike's reverting to form. An awesome load of massive toss again. Skick says, Mike, can't you give Boat some exciting cars to sell? I've got exciting cars to sell. Well, I've got some. I mean, look at that Rover 623 GSI. You're not going to get any more exciting than that. That is a stunning car. We've got lovely cars to sell, and I've got lovely cars in my personal fleet and my. Oh, you see what I mean when I talk about cycling? Cheeseburger. Oh God, cycle snooze coming up. I need a pee. See what I mean? Oh dear. Why can't you say how much the 623 will be going for? Asked Skip. Well, that's simple, Skip, because I don't know how much money I'm going to have to spend on it. And until I know how much money I'm going to have to spend on it, obviously, I can't know what the asking price is going to be, because I don't know what the car will owe me. So that's a simple reason. I mean, if you wanted to buy it exactly as it is now, then I could happily discuss it with you. But that's not the plan. The plan is to do the little bits of improvement or recommissioning that need doing, including a fresh MOT, etc., 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 a bit of paint correction, blah, 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 blah. And without knowing what all of that is going to cost, I can't possibly know where the car's going to end up. Oh, Rob Streetwise is back. Thank you for answering in depth, says Black Lines. I have a passing interest in psychology. I would have answered in more depth if it wasn't just gone midnight, Black Lines, but we can revisit that. Simone says, sleep time calleth. Ta-ra for now. Good night, Simone. God bless. Have a safe and peaceful night. Right, apparently 995 is the prayer. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that one. Simone says, wanking weakens legs too. Yeah, well, we weren't supposed to do that either. You won't believe this, right? When we were staying in, when we were away with the team, and we're staying in pretty dodgy hotels in those days, your soigneur or your director sportif, they would come round and check that your hands were above the blankets when you were in bed and shit like that, and that you didn't have a woman smuggled in. We were buggers. We used to do all sorts. We'd turn the lights out and do the old pillows down the bed thing, and we'd go out somewhere. So that when they looked at, honest to God, it was like being on a school trip. They would check up on you. Skick says, come on, Boaty. You wouldn't stay away from women to ride a bike. I did, mate. I did. I made no secret of it. I was the oldest virgin in the United Kingdom. I had nothing to do with girls throughout my athletic career. Nothing whatsoever. Didn't have time. I didn't have time. And we were genuinely told that women were a distraction and sex weakened your legs. Now, this is a true story. Sean Kelly, who some of you will know, sorry, Cheeseburger, I'm talking about cycling. Sean Kelly said that he would abstain from sex for 1 month, and he was married. He would abstain for 1 month before an important one-day race and 3 months before a major tour, like the Tour de France, Vuelta d'España, or the Giro d'Italia. And one smart Alex said, well, by my reckoning, that makes his wife a virgin. But honest to God, that's the way things were in those days. So, Skick, I promise you, I did not lose my virginity until my athletic career finished. A little while after it finished, actually. It took me a while. I mean, some might say that I made up for it since, but hey ho, it's absolutely true. Video title, I'd rather go blind. So says, I will get you a bottle live with me. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, let's do it. When you come up, you and Neil and Joe, let's do a drunken live together in some hotel somewhere. Night all, says Simone. Good night to you. I'm so sorry. I'm running late, aren't I? We should. I'll whiz through these comments, but we should all be saying good night. Really, it is that time. But we've got tomorrow to be looking forward to. I'll be back again, same time, same place. Stephen S. Paul says, has anyone seen the new Drive Tribe video with Mike's new Rover 620 Ti? Just watched it a few hours ago. No, I haven't. I didn't know he had one. But yeah, I'll check that out. Mike, no, Mike, that is not acceptable. I'm not reading it out, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And no, he didn't. Black Line says, time for some shut-eye. Good night, all. Thanks for hanging about, my Black Lines. I'm sorry we've gone on so late. Titles, Summer Women Weaken Farage. Oh, that's not bad, actually. Let's screenshot that. My friend Steve, Ollie Owls, my old friend Steve, my friend of 20 plus years, the annoyingly handsome TV and film star Steve says, I assume you've seen Drive Tribe's latest video in car, 620 Ti. I haven't, but I'd better be watching it now. Cheeseburger says, married and abstaining for a month. I'll take that. Ben says there's a Champagne Super Rover 620 GSI manual with the same grey interior, 96,000 miles, 4995 on Auto Trader, Auto Trader. Yeah, I've seen that one. I have seen that one. And there's another one, similar one up at 5995 and another one up at 6995. So basically the cheapest near alternative is £5,000. So, you know, they're not cheap. They're rare. There are 53 of those cars left on the road. And it's a sensationally good one. It drives like a brand new car. It's got full service history. It's not going to be bargain basement. But you know us, it's not going to be stupid money either. We will make sure that the car goes to a suitable enthusiast, but it will be buyable. Some question about who Sean Kelly is, and Ollie Owl Steve says, clarifies, Sean Kelly from Ireland, one of the most prolific sprinters of the 1980s. He was, but he was a bit more than a sprinter, really, wasn't he? I mean, he won a few Grand Tours, bless him. Good night, everyone. Stay safe. Have a lovely day tomorrow. Mike says good night. 5K subscribers or pounds, says Cheeseburger. Skick says, did he say 5K for the cheeseburger? For his 623. That's a Freudian slip, isn't it? No, I didn't, Skick. Somebody pointed out that there was a similar car advertised at the moment on Auto Trader. Not as nice a car, but a similar car advertised for £5,000. And I can tell you that there are two others on the market that are similar, not as good. One is 5 and one is 6. I haven't put a price on ours yet. Good night, Jason. Good night, humans. Be nice. Right, so it is that time. It's time to say good night, my lovelies. I've got supper to get on. You've got beds to get to. I've got a daily diary to finish. Let me just thank you all for your company tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. I love spending this time with you. It genuinely does mean the world to me. I absolutely adore it. I'd like to welcome all of the new people who joined us tonight, including, and I never thought I'd be saying this, including Bernard. Bernard, you're probably not watching anymore, but thank you for joining in. It was slightly worrying too. It was lovely, but slightly disconcerting and worrying to have you. Thank you to Skick for the incredibly generous super sticker. Thank you to Neil for the generous gifts of the channel memberships, and thank you to the lovely Mike for your super chat. I really am grateful for these things. I promise you they do make all the difference in the world. And yeah, it's been a great live. I've loved it. Hope you've enjoyed it too. And please join me again tomorrow. Same place, same time. And also tomorrow, there will be a daily diary going up in the morning. And in the 1919 slot, 19 minutes past 7, there will be part 2 of Monday's incredibly long road trip acquisition. Oh, video title. Hello, Bernard. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that, aren't I? Yeah, yes, I'm going to have to do that. I might combine it with the Jeremy Farage thing, but yeah, I've got to do that. I never thought this would happen. I never thought Bernard would watch one of my videos, let alone jump in on a live stream, let alone actually comment. So yeah, that's got to go in the title. Okay. Is Bernard from the cafe? What cafe? You've lost me there, sir. Right. Time to go. Time to go. Supper tonight is going to come as no surprise to you. It's curry. Oh, no skick. No. And I don't work in a cafe. I work in cafe. I work in a fine dining, multi-award winning Nepali fusion restaurant. It's not a cafe skick, and it's not just one either. It's there's more than one restaurant, and I would point out that both of our branches have won UK Curry House of the Year. Well, anyway, that's enough of that. All right, darlings, thank you so much. Have a safe and peaceful night. Take great care of yourselves. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. I can't wait to catch up with you all next time. And much love to you all. Good night and God bless.